Hi, Jules from Rosemary Pricing Page here. Today I wanted to make a video about how to add pricing sliders to your Framer project using code overrides. So the thing is that when you have um, a, a pricing model that is usage-based, you often want to opt for displaying your pricing page via sliders, like you can see here. The interest of that is that you can make it really smooth for the prospect to actually select the amount of usage they're going to opt for and directly visualize the corresponding amount they're going to have to pay. So it's often a very good practice, but the thing is that the majority of CMS and website builders, they do not offer built-in components like this one. And it's not the case, especially for Framer. So here's the type of sliders that you can implement when you have a credit-based pricing model. And today I'm going to show you how to do that directly inside Framer. So for the sake of this demo, I'm going to use the example of EvaBoot, which has a pricing page like this one with a drop-down. And the aim is to transform this drop-down into a pricing slider inside Framer. So to show you the outcome actually of what we want, I actually have the pricing slider implemented for the specific case of EvaBoot. So here, there's this drop down as it is currently built on their pricing page. And here is the pricing slider that I'm going to show you, the pricing slider component, and see how it works. It's the specific behavior that that defines a pricing slider and that we want to implement here. So let me show you the various steps. So those steps to implement these pricing slider components are described inside this Notion page here, and it is divided into 3 main steps that I'm going to show you right now. So I created a new Framer project called Untitled here, and I imported the pricing table as it currently exists inside on the EvaBoots pricing page. So you see here you have the drop down, and based on this current behavior, we're going to generate the sliders. So first thing is that we're going to duplicate the pricing table here. What we are going to do is actually rename this one, because this one will be the one with the pricing slider. We're going to detach the instance and create it as a new component so that it is properly distinguishable from the other built-in component. And once we have done that, we are going to remove this dropdown, which we won't need in the future, and which will be replaced by the pricing slider. So the pricing slider, just to make things a bit more clear, we're going to emphasize its location. So we're going to increase a little bit the heights and add a stroke so that it's more clear where to add it. And now that we have done that, we're going to start importing the components, the code components, basically. So the first step is to add the pricing slider components. So if I follow the steps here, it says that I need to create a new component called pricing slider using the code feature. So this is what I'm going to do here. Actually, I just need to copy the name and not with the extension. So here we go. We have this new component here. And you see that you have some code by default with a default component. We are going to replace the code by the code of the pricing slider that I will provide you inside this Notion document. So here it is. So here you can see that it doesn't work. This is normal because the code here, and especially this part of the code, does call another code that should be implemented inside step 2. So now let's jump to step two. Step two is not really understandable for now. It will be very useful and more clear when you implement step three. But for now, let's just follow the process and add this new component that is called store. So here you need to pay attention to the exact name of the file. So when you create the new component called store, make sure that you actually update the name of the file so that it fits exactly the name of the file as it is described here. So here, the name of the file is actually store in small cases with the extension TS and not TSX. So here it is. And now that okay, it hasn't worked. Okay, now that we have updated the name of the file, let's not forget to actually copy the codes. So that's what we do here. And now that we have done that, the pricing slider should actually work. And now we can go ahead and actually add this pricing slider to the pricing components that we've just added. So let's go ahead and actually drag and drop the corresponding component here. And you can see that two properties, a list of properties that are now available for the pricing slider, and notably two, which are respectively the units, so the various price points and their corresponding amount. By default, you have three, but you can obviously add as many as you want. So I'm actually going to start adding those for Eva Boots, but let's stop with Thor for now. Don't be misled by this view here. To have the really proper visualization of this pricing slider, you should actually click on the preview mode and see the way that it will be rendered actually when you publish it. Now that we have done that, you can see that we have so the various price points here, but there's something missing. What is missing is that we want the amount to be actually displayed dynamically whenever I switch from one price point to another. Here, the amount should change, and it's not the case. It's static for now. And to do so, we need to add an override to this text component. So the idea here is that this text component is the amount of the value that we want to display for each price point. And we want to override the built-in behavior of Framer so that it renders the dynamic value of the price. So to do so, let's jump to step three. And here everything is explained, but the idea is that you actually select the text elements. So make sure to really select only the text component. And then here, what you can do is actually add some overrides. So you're going to add a new file, and this time it will be a new override, not a new component. And the name of this file will be called overrides. So once again here, pay a specific attention to the exact name of the file. In that case, it's also small case and TS as the extension of the doc. And now we need to update the built-in code. So let's get back to the Notion doc and copy here the codes that I provided here and replace this code here. And now that it is done, when I get back to actually the text components, you can see that the right file has been selected. But more importantly here, you need to select the methods inside the code that you're going to call to make sure that the price is dynamically updated. So this is what I'm going to do here. And once it is done, now I can check that the amount does change according to the rule that I set here. So basically switching from 9 to 99 with 29 and $49 as different price point. And maybe to change also value, to change a bit of the values, we can also update the currency, for instance. And yeah, as you can see here, you can see that the right amounts are now displayed each time you select the right price point. So now that it works, the last step is actually to adapt a little bit the design of the pricing slider. So obviously here, what we're going to do is actually remove the border. What needs to be done as well is actually add the other price points. So I don't know them by heart, but 8,000, 20,000, and 50,000. So it goes pretty quick. The main interest of this kind of interface is that you can change without code those values, which is also time saving. And the various price points are 149, 299, and 449. So here, 149, 299, and the last one, if I'm not mistaken, is 499. Okay, and so we have now all the price points. So you see here that it does overlap a little bit. So here the idea is that we actually increase the width, and here it does work well to actually set the property of the width to fill. And then let's get back to actually US dollars, because that's the case currently on their page. Let's change the font family. So I think it's Verdana, if I'm not mistaken. You can change obviously the unit size, the slider color. So for the slider color, obviously, let's copy paste the color that is used a bit above on the CTA, for instance. Okay, so I have, okay. There we go. And now I have the color that I want for the slider, and for the stroke, I can maybe opt for some gray color. Yeah, just putting something random here. You can change also the width of the stroke. So here for now, I think it's all good. And now that you have done that, it actually does work well. Maybe one last thing that we can do is actually add a title to describe what are the units that are displayed below. So just the text component will do the trick. Here we're going to say number of credits per month. So you see that it's going a bit all right here, but it's just because we don't have the right direction for the stack, and maybe set it like to start here. We can make a few adjustments by switching these text components to actually a stack, and making sure that the distribution is on the start property. We can also adjust a little bit the gap between those two elements. And now that we have that, actually, I think it should work properly. So here, as you can see, when you switch from one price point to another, the correct amount is displayed. And so you have here the comparison between those two behavior directly visible here.